Hello there, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning into Mentium, the podcast that takes you on a journey to unlock the full potential of your mind. My name is Majama. I will be your host and your guide on this adventure into the fascinating realm of mindset, mental fitness, and personal growth. In each episode, I dive deep into the intricacies of the human mind, exploring the power of positive thinking, resilience, and the strategies to cultivate a mindset that propels you towards success. So buckle up for a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation. Get ready to unleash the power of your mind with Mentium. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mentium. Thank you so much for joining me one more time. It's always a pleasure to have you around. If you remember, in our last episode, we explored 7 powerful reasons to start your own business. Today, I want to dive even deeper and talk about a mindset shift you need when pursuing any big goal. Whether it's launching a business, making a career change, or chasing a personal dream. So let's talk about breaking through the impossible, turning dreams into reality. Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Those words couldn't be more true. Think about it. Before we start something new, the journey can feel overwhelming. The challenges seem too big, and success seems out of reach. But once we begin, once we start pushing forward, what once felt impossible becomes more manageable. In this episode, I'll take you through how to reframe that word impossible, how to break your goals down into achievable steps, and I'll share stories of entrepreneurs who faced impossible odds but came out on top. So if you've ever been discouraged by a challenge or felt like your dreams are too big, this episode is for you. Let's start by breaking down the word impossible. How many times in your life have you thought, "I can't do this. This is too much"? Whether it's a personal goal, starting a business, or achieving something you've always wanted, it's easy to fall into the mindset that something is too hard or too far out of reach. But here's the truth. Impossible is a word our minds create when we're afraid of stepping outside our comfort zone. It's a protective barrier that says, stay safe, don't take risks. Our fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or even fear of what people might think keeps us from starting. But here is the reality. What once seemed impossible is often just waiting for us to take action. In fact, in the English language, if you look at the word impossible, it really says, "I am possible." So I want you to think about something in your own life that once felt impossible. Maybe it was completing a difficult project at work, moving to a new city, or learning a new skill. At the time, it seemed daunting, but now it's done. When you look back, you realize it wasn't impossible at all. It was just a challenge that you hadn't yet overcome. The same goes for starting a business or tackling any big project. The idea of launching your own venture, grow it from scratch, can feel impossible at first. But once you begin taking small steps, the impossible starts to fade. Now, this brings me to my next point, breaking down the impossible into small, actionable steps. One of the main reasons people don't start pursuing their dreams, whether it is starting a business or working toward a personal goal, is that they feel overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. It's like staring up at a mountain and thinking, there is no way I can climb this. But here's the thing. You don't need to climb the entire mountain in one step. The key is to focus on taking small, manageable actions, one step at a time. I'm sure you've heard of the Chinese saying that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. It's like building a house. You don't try to put up the whole thing in one day. You start by laying a foundation, then putting up the walls, and so on and so forth. Let's say your goal is to start a business. The thought of building a full-fledged company might seem impossible. But what if you broke it down? Start with research. What's your market? Who are your potential customers? Next, maybe set up a basic website or create a simple business plan. Then take small actions every week towards your goal. And remember, it's okay to start small. Some of the most successful businesses we know today began as side hustles or passion projects that grew over time. One step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. I want to take a moment now to look at some real life examples because I think it's important to see that what seems impossible to us was once impossible for some of the world's most successful people. Let's talk about Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She started with just $5,000 in savings. No formal business training, no investors, just an idea. She faced rejection after rejection from manufacturers who didn't believe in her vision. At one point, it would have been easier for her to think, this is impossible. No one is willing to help. But she didn't stop. She kept pushing forward, eventually finding a manufacturer who believed in her project. Today, she's a billionaire entrepreneur. And all because she didn't let the impossible stop her. You know, I have the privilege of taking her course on entrepreneurship. The course is available on Masterclass. And if you were thinking about building a business or even are in business, I would highly recommend for you to take that class. Just sign up for Masterclass and then look for Sarah Blakely. It was an amazing experience for me. Another great example is Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks. He had a vision of turning a small coffee shop into a global brand. But when he first pitched his idea, he was turned down by over 200 investors. Can you imagine being rejected that many times? It would have been easier to give up, but instead, Schultz kept going, finding the right investors and turning Starbucks into the coffee giant we know today. These stories reminds us that what seems impossible in the moment is just often a temporary barrier. With persistence and small steps forward, those barriers can be broken down. Another important mindset shift is how we think about failure. We've done an entire episode on this. I would recommend you to take a listen to it. The title was Celebrating Failures. One of the biggest reasons people stop before they even start is the fear of failure. But here is something to consider. Failure isn't the end of the road. It is part of the journey. Nelson Mandela also said, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." This is such an important lesson. When we hit a wall or when something doesn't go as planned, it's either to think, well, that's it. I failed, so I guess it's impossible. But what if we looked at failure as a step towards success? Every time you fail, you were learning. You were learning what doesn't work. You were learning how to adapt and you were growing stronger for it. If you ask any successful entrepreneur or anyone who has achieved a big goal, they'll tell you they failed countless times. The difference is they didn't stop. They used each failure as a stepping stone toward success. Think of it as part of the process. You were one step closer to figuring out what works. Here, the example that I normally give is Edison, who failed 10,000 times. But when he was asked, how did you keep going when you failed so many times? His answer was, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. What a mindset. So as you reflect on your own goals and challenges, remember Mandela's words. It always seems impossible until it's done. What feels impossible today might just be the stepping stones for your future success. The key is persistence. Keep moving forward, one step at a time. Don't let the fear hold you back, because every small action you take brings you closer to achieving your dream. Well, if you found value in today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. As always, keep pushing forward, because success is just on the other side of impossible. Until next time, take care of yourself and your loved ones. I am Majama, and this is Mentium. Peace.